institutions by nature tend to avoid risk. They try to mitigate risk. And so they've been cautious, many of them. Many have not been, and we're seeing now that some are really stepping up and trying to lead in a different way. But that pulling back and saying, oh, we can't fund this, we can't fund that anymore, you need to take these phrases out of your proposal and send it back to us, that kind of avoidance of risk has done real harm to the frontline groups who are fighting for human rights around the country.
So before the Cold War, these foundations, none of them were associated necessarily as particularly lefty in the US. So from the 1910s to the 1930s, the major criticism you heard from many Americans was, why should we trust these institutions that are founded by individuals who have stomped on the average American so much? So for example, like strike breaking and Carnegie Steel. Would we want them to be influencing our children's education? Now, during the Cold War, you start seeing an association of these foundations, some of them as being perhaps lefty, funding social science, relating that to socialism. What's interesting is when you mention risk, that for many of them, and I'm thinking just from the 1950s onward, we just don't see foundations being pulled in by Congress for being too conservative, but you do get them coming in for being too lefty. So the perceived risk is to be seen as too lefty. So it's not a value neutral term for the risk.